Okay, this is a video on building a custom scenario case. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but remember we have these little buttons on entry and exit. We like these buttons, and some people like these buttons. You can make a nice little graph and watch things move up and down and do all that kind of thing when you look at the buttons. So instead of doing that, but we remember we cannot do that sort of thing, because as soon as you put a button, they overwrite the variable. We have to decide, are you using the scenario or the sensitivity analysis? How could we possibly get the best of both? Well, here's how you can do it. You can just make an extra little case. I'm going to call this our custom case. And for now, let's just copy and paste the base case values to this case. And then what we could do, it's as simple as this. We could simply start inserting, go to the developer tab and insert a spinning box around this number. Okay. And we can just go to format control and make it go from, let's make it go from 2 to 15 or something. Let's, as usual, make another windshield wiper on this, windscreen wiper. Okay. And we push it up, and we can then push it down. Now, all you would have to do then is just make your format control. Again, let's make it go to 19. Is that okay? And we just need to shade this down, and we could put all our different scenarios in it. In fact, we could even then copy this little spinner box and put it right by which one were we looking at just now? This was the exit. We would put it right next to our exit case. Okay. Should have made it the same size. Okay, and then we can do exactly the same thing with the entry case. Now, to copy one of these, you can just copy it, paste it, and change it from E to F. Okay, so far so good. We can adjust all these. We could copy this and paste this to the entry. Okay, so, and these ones we could even, if I'm not going to do it in this case, we could add a little macro to it. This wouldn't work right now. It would only work. We could add a little statement that says this only works when the custom case scenario is pressed. All right. So in order for this to actually have an effect, we have to go down to the custom case. And why does it have references? Oh, because of course we haven't adjusted our index command yet. We haven't pulled this down. And I'll just remember that we do this. Okay. Of course, you could copy this. I'm doing this because I don't want to redo the formatting. Okay, so it's good that it reminds you, hopefully, that you need to use the index command a lot. This is number 12. Okay, so now everything's okay. And if we change the custom case, if we put a lower entry, we get a higher IRR and vice versa. Okay, so that's our how we can just adjust that one and make a very special little case right at the end. The only problems are these last two ones. So if I copy this one, we cannot remember to do this, so we would have to make a special. If this is 5%, we want 5. And maybe we want to adjust the growth rate, and maybe we want the format control to go from a minimum of 0, or it could even be negative. let's go from a minimum of 0 to a maximum of 30. This number will not be in this one. We have to go back to another sheet, back to our sheet. This will be this number, okay? And if I want to allow it to go negative, all I would do is put an equal sign, take this number, perhaps minus 10, okay? And then I happen to have 10, and then divide that whole thing by 100. Okay, so then I can put different growth rates in the same way. But you notice what I had to do is make an extra column right at the bottom, so we can copy this and put it next to our risk-free rate, which seems to have the same format. And we just change the D to a G, and perhaps this time we just are going to take this number, simply divide it by 100, so we can put this. Okay, you could put additional decimals there and divide it by 1,000 and all that as well. All right, so that's building a custom case scenario, and then if we want to put this into our model, all we have to do is remember put this row to be the last row. Okay, and I believe we can run the sensitivity table. That's how easy it is. Now, if you wanted to run the sensitivity table each time you change one of these factors, what you'd have to do is assign this to the sensitivity table. So you just assign the macro, and then you press it like that, and it's running the whole table. It's a nice small one, so it's pretty easy. It's easy to do. Now, this is the reason I call this a basic scenario analysis, is because, or sensitivity analysis, is because it's because we could, every time we click on, let's say we click on a case and we want to run the base case, it would be nice to kind of copy and paste these and start over instead of forgetting. This is kind of one of the problems with all these little things. I want to reset this to the base case. Right now I'd have to manually press 5. No, I'd have to press 15. Excuse me, I'd have to press this to be 3. I'd have to manually go and press this to be 7 and this to be 7 to put it back to the base case. And we might want to begin, instead of from the base case, from a different case. That involves a couple of macros, so I'm not going to add that right now. Of course, you know, if you wanted to make a little graph perhaps of the cash flow, let's make a graph of our net cash flow. Okay, here's, you can press Control and then this one. Okay, and then press, why don't we press F11 for now to make the graph. Okay, it's making. All right, we should clean up the end, but let's move this and put this in our okay, let's put it in a model sheet. Okay, and maybe we'd like to see what happens if we let's show what the IRR is and make a little title for our graph, and then put the IRR, and we'll go up here, and then maybe we want to see what happens to the IRR if we change the entry multiple, put an equal sign, go up to the entry multiple, and put exit, and put an equal sign, and go to the exit multiple, and then we can click on this, put this as our new title. It has to be one line. This has to be a single line. And then, as long as we're in the custom case, we could copy this. I think we can do this. It might not work if it's in the same page. We can copy our entry multiple in and just kind of look at what happens if we're, I think, yeah, have to be in a different page. Well, let's, and I wanted to copy it. Let's, did I cut it? Yes, alright. Oh, I copied it. So let's put that next to the entry, and let's copy that and put that next to the exit. Okay, and why don't we now, it might not copy, by the way. Let's move this chart and put it in a new sheet. I think what we might have to do, it did something. No, I think it screwed up. Okay, and we'll do this. So let's go to our model sheet and copy that to our custom sheet. Okay, and the only reason we can do this is we used the windscreen wiper approach. And let's copy the other one into our sheet. Okay, and we'll put that here. And if we increase the exit multiple, what's going to happen? We can do that now. We could have, of course, put a much longer holding period. Let's make it a longer holding period to make our graph look a little better. Whoops, wrong way. And let's finally just copy this one into our graph. And now we can also look at the different cases on our graph. So here's our base case, our low case, high case, blah, blah, blah. We can see what the entry and exit multiple and the cash flow and the IRRs. And I'll call that a cash flow graph. And then this is really the finish of the basic kind of scenario analysis. We'll add some macros, we'll add some other videos that are a little bit fancier, but that's that for now. Okay, advertising, www.finance, energy institute.com for all these classes at a very reasonable price. Okay, and high quality, of course. And that's it for the video.